Bob?
Kind of been all over the place. Probably 20 years ago, I kind of made a shift out of engineering and I went into operations management. So I spent a good part of my career managing manufacturing facilities. Over the last 10 years, my responsibility has grown, and I run a division for a company that has a global operation, and my interest has peaked over the years as our business became more complicated, as we're dealing with suppliers all over the world and customers all over the world, and you know, it's just become something that we've struggled with in terms of supply management. Talk a little bit earlier about it. Our company has fantastic access to engineers, product engineers. We're really well connected, and that's not a need, but the area that I've observed that's really underserved is in supply management strategies, where we need people that have some good technical understanding, we need people with good business acumen, we need people with good interpersonal skills to deal with, you know, what really is the most important part of our income statement, that's the material spend, and so we're refocusing our efforts, you know, where we work to give greater attention to our material strategies. And so, like I said, that's really been in the area of focus in terms of recruiting and systems development at our company recently.
I would echo some of Bob's comments. I started out in engineering also, kind of went into, I was in design engineering, I went into manufacturing engineering, and I migrated into operations, and then been in general management, and actually been in private equity and a couple other things. One of the things I think that's happened over the years is that we used to look at supply chain, but we didn't call it supply chain, we called it purchasing, we called it materials management, we called it logistics, and we called it, and we never pulled together the whole concept of that being a process or a more or less a value stream, okay? We've gotten smarter, we understand how purchasing and logistics fits together, and materials management and demand planning and capacity planning, things like that. So it's become much more of a combined focus than it used to be, and I think Bob hit on a really key thing a little while ago. When you, especially for manufacturing companies, and you know, if you're a distribution company, it's probably a little different, but for manufacturing companies, typically manufacturing organizations have a material to a cost of goods sold anywhere from 50%, in our case up to almost 70%. So 50 to 70% of your cost of the stuff you're putting in the field is material driven. So if you can buy that less expensively, if you can get the product to the customer quicker with lower logistics costs, the effect on the income statement is so dramatic. And I think that's what most companies have started to realize, especially over the last 5 to 10 years. So the amount of opportunity in supply chain as a general is enormous. I mean, you can go in and you can go into logistics, you can go into demand planning, you can go into materials management, you can go into purchasing, you can go into strategic sourcing, which is another area of purchasing. So it's an enormous field. I think the other thing it'll do for most people is it's a launching pad to go into all sorts of other different tangential areas of business. So it really is a great place to start because you can go off into different areas.